As we kind of wrap it up, based on your experience and your commitment to improve education in this country, what would you say to parents, to educators, and to legislators, since in some respects they are the primary stakeholders and influencers in what happens in education?
Those are big and important issues. What I would say to parents is, it is your responsibility to educate your child. You know your child better than anyone else. Don't just go along with the neighbors and stick your child in the public schools if they have an acumen to do something else. Explore, be vested in the educational offerings that are available to you, and exercise that for your child. It'll mean a different trajectory in life for them. So parents need to recapture, as opposed to, the next door neighbors have their child in public school. Everybody I know has a child in public school. My child will go to public school. Everybody's different. So parents need to be on the watch in terms of, because the public schools of today, as you and I have discussed, are not the public schools we went to.
True.
So parents need to be very aware, and they're responsible for their children's education. And you can go to charter schools, you can have online schools. The offerings are greater than they were when we were in school, and they should be greater still in the future. So that's what I would say. To assume that responsibility is the best thing you can do for your child, because to instill a love of learning in your child will set them on a course that is unimaginable.
Yep.
And parents need to do that. Parents love their children. Don't let your school do that. Your teacher doesn't love your child like you do. And so that's what parents need to do. Be for their child and give them the best opportunity possible. For educators, I would say, I'm sorry for all the onus regulation that you have to deal with. I can't imagine how you do it on a daily basis. I really don't. But I think we in education have slipped from educating to indoctrinating. And we need to stop that like yesterday. Because indoctrination is, number one, it's not education. Number two, it's not a benefit. Number three, it does not instill a love of learning. And so it is what I would consider a failure. Mm-hmm. And so we don't need to do that. I want to tell teachers out there, your jobs are secure because teachers are at a premium. So just lead your class. Just lead your class. And you will be fine, because we cannot find teachers to fill classrooms. So we're honored to have you in the classroom. Soar with your strengths.
Mm-hmm. Good input.
With administrators of the school, don't make sure that your textbooks are not indoctrinative but instructive. Let's forget the indoctrination. Let's give people the respect that they are due, that they are people who can think through things themselves. Our job is to, in K-12 education, is to give them the basics of learning and a love of learning so that they can continue on, whether it's college or trade school or work. We need to reorganize what our mission is and how we're going to accomplish that mission, and really let the teachers soar with their strengths. And I have great respect for a teacher in front of the class who has a class of 25 children who are all different. I mean, to impart knowledge to each one of them is very hard. So that's what I would do on the teacher side. On the legislative side, this is a big thing. I would break the monopoly of education. And I would do that by this is a very simple one thing, letting educational dollars that you and I pay for in our respective states follow the child. Take your state and local money, because the feds bring money too. Take your state and local money and give that in a education savings account to the parent for enrollment wherever the parent deems the child should go. Public, private, disability school, charter school, whatever they want to do, because they know their child best. This will, Melvin, bring parents quickly back into the education sector.
Yes, it
which
will.
we definitely need. It would break our monopoly, and it would enable children to soar with their strengths.
Mm-hmm.
And it would cost no extra additional money. So, and also it would create competition in the public schools. If a child, and I got to tell you, some of these Black families that we dealt with on the charter board, they would drive 50 miles a day to send their child to a better school.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we create this will create competition in the public schools. You create an enrollment period where it's first come, first serve. When the school's full, it's full. 38 states, like I say, have charter schools. There's a charter school option. It creates choice in public schools. And so those low performing schools, those low enrollment schools in the 38 states that have charter schools should become charter schools. Mm-hmm. Because charter schools have a track record of good attendance, good results, low teacher turnover, and they're successful schools. They're schools of accountability. They have to make gains. Our public schools don't have to make gains. If lawmakers want to improve education, that's what we need to do. Let the money follow the child, because you know what? Parents know best about what their children, where their children should go, and they understand what children want to learn. We'll have less juvenile crime. We'll have more learning going on in school. We'll have more retention in school. Teachers will be happier in school. And that's why I said earlier, it would be wonderful if we could flip the traditional system and the charter system. Make traditional schools charter schools, which is basically deregulating them, having a board per school, and let the charter schools be the traditional system that's more regulated for students that might need more regulation, which is not many. And so, government complains about the lack of parental involvement when they boxed us out. It's important. We need a seismic shift. And the seismic shift should come where government breaks up their monopoly because it hasn't worked, and where parents re-engage with opportunities, multiple opportunities, so they can go where their child sees fit to go.
Wow.
And so, that is pretty easy, I think.